I'm a little late. It's okay. Huh?
So I'm just going to read this recording disclaimer now. Please note that this session is being recorded. It may include your likeness and/or your voice. You have the option of muting your camera and/or your microphone, but participation implies authorization for MassBay to use such likeness and voice on this recording in perpetuity. And Shansi, if you want to go ahead and introduce Karsten, that would be great.
Starting the recording?
I did.
Oh, okay. So, hello everyone. I think I know most of you. So we are very happy to have Karsten Chearis here with us to talk to us about his look at the cybersecurity. And this is one of the events for Cybersecurity Month. Karsten Chearis is the Global Manager of Specialist Security Solutions Engineering in Threat Intelligence at Rapid7. Having 2 decades of experience in various areas of technology, cybersecurity, and pre-sales, he develops and implements the technical sales strategy for Rapid7's threat intelligence product suite. In addition to his cybersecurity sales leadership, he serves as a focal leader in Rapid7's employee resource and impact group. I hope I pronounced this. Vibranium seeks to build, that's the group, seeks to build a community and connection for Black and Hispanic Rapid7 team members, including raising awareness, facilitating dialogue, positioning for career development, and more. Karsten has experienced the lonely solitude of being the only person of color in the room. I have shared that, Karsten, with you, being only female in the room. And Karsten understands the effect of systematic oppression. His goal is to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion of every room he enters while being unapologetically authentic. As a content creator, he works to deliver impactful messages that challenge the listeners to be their best selves. Karsten resides in Memphis, Tennessee, with his wife, 2 daughters, and a host of pets that he was outvoted to keep. That was very interesting. Thank you, Karsten.
Thank you. My pleasure. Guys and gals, thanks so much for having me here. I'm super excited. I'm getting ready to share my screen, and then cool. If I can get a thumbs up, can everyone see my screen? Okay, cool. All right, so I kind of titled this presentation, "The One Thing to Know to Be Successful." And I'll tell you that thing in just a moment, but we're also going to dive into kind of what I do on a day-to-day basis and try to provide some enablement of what you should do if you're interested in my career field and you want to become a part of the CTI industry. So I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'll give you an introduction to cyber threat intelligence. It's also known as CTI. I'll give you some good resources so that if you want to learn more about CTI, you want to train, you can do that. And then I want to talk about you, and then I'll share the one thing. So a little bit about me. Again, thanks for that introduction, but I work in a field called pre-sales. Now, pre-sales is part of a selling motion. I'm not an account exec, so I'm not cold calling. I'm not trying to get people to buy. The account exec will do that. But when we believe that this prospective customer has enough interest and they have a budget and a project, then they'll bring in someone on my team. And again, it's called pre-sales. Another name is sales engineering. I definitely think that you guys should take a look at pre-sales. Just Google it, look at pre-sales careers. It is very lucrative, and you don't have to be super, super, super technical. It helps, but you don't have to be really, really deep in the weeds a lot, and you can still make a lot of good money. So specifically, what my team we cover at Rapid7 is we cover cyber threat intelligence, and you're getting ready to learn more about that in just a moment. Outside of that, as it was mentioned, I have a passion for DEI. So I am one of the leads in our group called Vibranium. If you ever watch Black Panther, Vibranium is the precious metal from the area of Wakanda. So that's the name that we kind of gave ourselves. But again, it's the same thing I'm getting ready to share with you, but it's also about being unapologetically you, not being embarrassed if you are part of a minoritized people, that you still have value. Pre-Sales Collective is a organization outside of Rapid7. I'm one of the ambassadors. Definitely check them out, presalescollective.com. And then finally, I'm an aspiring founder. I want to launch my own brand, which will then launch several companies. So let's talk about CTI, Cyber Threat Intelligence. So this picture articulates what we call cyberspace. Cyberspace is the clear web, the deep web, and the dark web, but that's a whole lot of words, so we just call it cyberspace instead. Now, every one of you have seen the clear and deep web, but you may not have seen the dark web. So the clear web is what you do on the internet day to day. If you go to Google, that's clear web, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, actually that's called X, not Twitter anymore, LinkedIn, all of those sites, that is clear web. Your school website is clear web. Next, we have the deep web. Now, the thing about the deep web is this is not indexed by search engines. So what I mean is, if you go to Google and you search for Karsten Chearis or best sushi recipe or whatever, those websites are indexed, meaning they're stored in their archive. So if you search, Google or whatever search browser can give you the most relevant results. The deep web is not indexed. So an example of a deep web is logging into Gmail. Anybody can go to gmail.com, but you can't see my emails associated with my email account because it's not indexed and it's behind an authentication wall, right? So deep web could be once you actually log into your bank, once you log into your school website, once you see your school emails, that's deep web. That's about 95% of the internet. The last portion is the dark web. And the dark web, the stats tell us that only 1% of internet users have ever been there. The dark web, you can't just pull up Firefox or Chrome or Edge. You have to use a special browser called Tor. You have to have the right configuration. And there, when you go on the deep web, you are anonymized. In other words, if I'm on the clear web, I'm Karsten Chearis at yahoo.com. But on the dark web, it's not like that. On the dark web, you can find some very interesting things. It's not all bad, but this is also where you can buy things illegally. So you can literally buy a credit card with a $10,000 limit for like $100. You can buy people's social security numbers, their driver's license numbers. If you are mad at an organization and you want to basically bring them down, you can rent a hacker on the dark web. Like literally, you can rent someone and they will break into people's Facebook profiles or break into company infrastructure. So a lot of bad things can happen on the dark web. So that's cyberspace. So what does that have to do with CTI? Well, cyber threat intelligence is the ability or the knowledge of taking things that are happening outside of your network and then giving you context of what could happen inside of your network. All right. So you guys are probably, using a laptop. Maybe it's a Mac. Maybe it's a Windows laptop. Cool. That's something internal. But you use external or cyber threat intelligence to understand that if someone has a MacBook, this is how a threat actor could get inside. this is how they could steal files. If you're using Cisco firewalls or Palo Alto firewalls, this is a vulnerability and I can actually go inside and do something there. If I'm a leader at a company, external threat intelligence lets me know, okay, Karsten Chearis has this social security number, this email address, this password. Let me use this information to get inside of that network. So it basically empowers you to do a better job of defending your internal resources. I'll end it with this part. So if I were to give you guys a choice, you could either take the flu vaccine or not we'll say the flu vaccine or an Ebola vaccine. Which one would you take, right? So if you're looking at it, well, man, like Ebola, that sounds nasty. Like a lot of things can happen and you could die and all that. So, man, I think I would take Ebola, but you don't have context because you have to understand that you're in the United States. We don't have an outbreak of Ebola here, but we do have outbreaks of flu. So you would want to get the flu vaccine instead of the Ebola if you could only choose one. So that is contextualization. That is what external threat intelligence does. It gives you contextualization. So now you know you need to patch this first or secure that first, and then look at the other things. So that's CTI. At the end, I will pause for questions, but if you guys have any questions about anything I'm covering, please feel free to throw them in the chat as well. We'll make sure we get to those. So that is CTI. Now, practically, how can you use it? Well, the first is called threat actor. We also call them TA for short. A threat actor is just a fancy name of saying a cyber criminal. So when I told you you could rent a hacker on the dark web, that's a threat actor. The big MGM hotel and casino, they're currently still under cyber attack where the slot machines and all that stuff are down, and because they're so forward thinking, like to open and close the doors and blinds, you use like an iPad to do that. That's locked down. It didn't work. All of that is a result of a threat actor. So a group of criminals were able to infiltrate MGM's network. You also have something called an IOC, indicator of compromise. This is a piece of information that lets you know that you could be under an attack. So an IOC could be an IP address, it could be a file hash, it could even be an email address. So it's something that lets you know if I see this in my network, then the likelihood of me being compromised just increased. We also have CVEs, common vulnerabilities and exposure. And by the way, I did not create these acronyms. I can't remember half of them, so I have to also type them here. So don't be mad at me. But a CVE is basically your iPhone, your MacBook, your iPad, your Windows Phone, Android, whatever. There could be things that are broken there that a threat actor can take advantage of and then get into your system. So every time there's a CVE, it has a number. If you go to cve.miter.org, you can see all the CVEs that we know about right now. ROI means return on investment. And when you're looking at cyber threat intelligence, we work to increase your return on investment of your existing spend. So you bought an email security solution, a network security solution, a ticketing solution, and you need those things, but you can use cyber threat intelligence to increase the value of those things because now they have more contextualization. So that is practical CTI. Finally, let's talk about some resources. So I believe Robin is going to send you guys a copy of this deck in PDF format, but I put 4 different links where you can actually click those links and you can learn a lot about cyber threat intelligence. You can actually learn more about the acronyms. You can learn more about the different resources so that you can get better. And hopefully you can take that information and then eventually maybe start to build your own home lab if possible. So EC Council, Microsoft, Simply Cyber, that's a YouTube channel. So if you're like me, you would rather watch a video than read a long article. Simply Cyber is going to be your best friend. And then finally, we have the SANS Institute. So that is cyber threat intelligence. Now, let's talk about me and let's talk about you. So I am currently, again, a global manager at a worldwide cybersecurity company. Threat intelligence is just one of the things that we do. I told you that I am an ambassador for Pre-Sales Collective, a very established organization, and I am one of the faces of that org. I have a team of people across the globe. I have been invited to speak at different conferences and events like this one, but I didn't start out that way. I was this little black boy, born and grew up in a small town right outside of Memphis, Tennessee, and I had a real bad stuttering problem. Anytime I would get excited, I would stutter really, really bad. I had as the young kids say, swag. I was lame, wasn't cool. My mom couldn't afford to buy me the latest Jordans, and people picked on me a whole lot. It was very, very difficult, and I could not control any of those things. I couldn't control the fact that I stuttered. I mean, now I don't stutter anymore, but I can't just click a button to make me stop stuttering. I can't click a button to make people like me. I had to get to a point where I was comfortable with me. So if you ask me my secret to success, I'll tell you it's simple. I'm dope. That's how I got here, right? And you're probably like, well, no, that's either you know what dope means, and if you do, then you're like, this dude is really, really cocky. Or maybe you don't know what dope means, and you're like, what do you mean? So dope means excellent and accepted. So because I was accepted by my mom, who's on this picture right here, I could do excellent work because I'm not working for her to accept me. She accepts me because she's my mom and I'm her son. But that allowed for me to do excellent work. And so that is what you have to do as well. You have to recognize that you're already accepted. Your school has accepted you, your friends, your family, your parents, they've accepted you. And so you should accept you so that you can do excellent work. Before I get to something, let me share a quick story. So several years ago, I was working at FedEx in their corporate office in IT, and I was off work. I was driving home, and there was this car in front of me that was driving so freaking slow. I was so frustrated. I'm like, will you please get out the way so that I could get around you so that I can get home because I'm tired. And it kept slowing down, kept hitting on brakes. Eventually, now we're on this road and the lines are solid. They're not dotted, which means that I can't legally get around them. But I was so mad and frustrated at them driving so slow, I broke the law and I decided to go around them. And when I did that, I saw why they were driving so slow. It's because two cars in front of them, there was this van that was driving slow, and now he was getting ready to make a left turn. So I'm in the left lane, he's making a left turn. He punches it, he sees me coming, and he punches the gas, and he hits my car. And I spin around several times. My car flips upside down. I land, we crash. Everything inside of my car was thrown out of my car. Thank God I stepped out that car without a scratch. But what's my point in telling you that? Well, it's simple. If I focus on what I can't control, what I can control will spin out of control. I was focusing on what I can't control, the traffic. So what I could control, my driving, spun out of control and I got into a wreck. So with that being said, I want you to know the one thing that you need to know and understand in order to be successful. There are going to be people that are going to be smarter than you, that have they're harder workers than you. They came from a family that has been in this field for a long time, so they have a cheat code and all that, but you can't control that. The one thing to know in order for you to be successful is that you have to learn how to control the controllable. So you can't stop what other people are doing to get themselves better, but you can control what you're doing to get yourself better. You coming to this conference, this is something that you were able to control because you're hungry for knowledge and now you're learning. Taking notes about the things I said about CTI, you can control that. Once this slide deck is emailed out and you can click links and read, you can control that. You can't stop COVID from coming back. You can't stop people from looking down on you because of your race or your sexual orientation or preference, but you can control how you react to them. So, my friends, I will tell you, even in cybersecurity and technology, always control the controllable, because that is what's going to get you to the next level. So that's me. I came from having no swag to now I look amazing. I mean, the bald head and the beard. My wife is pretty lucky to have me. I'm not gonna lie. I tell her that every day. If you want to be in contact with me, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Shoot me a message if you want to connect and say, hey, heard you talk in my school. Would love to connect with you. And then you can also go to my website. My website is still a work in progress, but I promise you some cool things are going to be on the website soon. So that's me. I will pass it back to our host.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Karsten. That was engaging and informative and entertaining and all the things. And I agree that you're dope for sure. And I think everybody else probably agrees as well. And Karsten is open to any questions that anybody has. So if you want to ask a question, just shout it out. And I'm sure he would be happy to talk to you about it.
Absolutely.
And Chauncey, if you have anything else that you want to add too, please do.
I just wanted to say that feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions. That's what I wanted to say. But now that I'm talking, so you were not assistant to the manager.
Yeah.
Is that related to coffee?
That's from one of my favorite TV shows, The Office. And if you have never watched The Office, please watch it. It is one of the funniest things I have ever seen, and I love it. I love Steve Carell and some of the other guys on there, but it's great.
It is such a funny show. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I like Cheers.
Yeah.
Karsten, what I really loved in your presentation is the emphasis on transformation, that you transformed yourself to be the person that you are. And I think that message resonates so much, I hope, to our students, because a lot of our students at MassBay are struggling. You know, they have jobs, they have school, they may not feel the greatest confidence in themselves. They're looking to the future, but it's uncertain, and it's so important for them to understand your message that there is this great future ahead for you. You are investing in yourself right now by going to school, by studying. You are investing in yourself, and it will pay off later. And that's the way life is. You develop yourself, and you become the person that you would like to be, as you did. And showing the picture of yourself with your mom made me all choked up, because it was just so beautiful. And I understand what you're saying, that her belief in you had such an impact, such a profound impact on your life.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, if one thing you didn't see in that picture was my dad, because my dad left my mom and I when I was 3. So I'm the product of a single family household. My mom's mother and father were there, thank God. But yeah, it was very, very challenging, and I had a lot of reasons to give up, because statistically I shouldn't be here, but yet I am here, right? If you look at that when it comes to your career, that's also what cyber threat intelligence is, right? You take some of the disadvantages and turn them into advantages. So if the disadvantage is, okay, I don't know what may happen if we roll out this new system, that's a disadvantage. But the advantage means that, okay, because I don't know what's going to happen, let me roll it out gradually. Let me first set it up in a test environment, and then I'll put it in production on 2 machines, and then I'll slowly start to roll it out. So I mean, the things that I shared about life, you can use that 100% even in your career, even in your test taking, even in your studying. You just keep turning your disadvantages into advantages.
I apologize, but I did not introduce MassBay Community College president, Dr. Padel here.
That's
So
okay.
I did introduce you, but not Dr. Padel. So I apologize.
No worries at all.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Padel.
My pleasure.
So if I were in your shoes, students, if I were in your shoes, one of the questions that I would be asking is how can I get into this field? Yes, I'm going to school, but what else should I be doing? I would say you're in a great place because I didn't have this when I was in college, and that is YouTube University. Like literally anything you want to know, you can YouTube it. I had to. I'm not handy at all. Like I can't put together things. My wife doesn't trust me to put together things because she doesn't want me to hurt our kids. So I had to swap out some lights on my car. Didn't know what to do. I looked on YouTube, the exact model and make and year. It was right there. So definitely, go to YouTube, search for things like Introduction to the Dark Web. What is the dark web? I know, finances may prevent you from like building your own home lab, but you have a lot of resources with your school email address because Microsoft and Amazon, all these companies will give you stuff for free. So you can build virtual machines at home. You don't have to have a super strong computer, just internet access. So that's something that I would recommend. Another question I may ask if I were in your shoes is, well, Karsten, how much money can I make as a pre-sales professional? The answer is a lot. If you are a pre-sales professional and you play your cards right, you can make more money than the CEO, possibly. So the way it works is you get a base salary. Let's say your base salary is $100,000 a year, and then you get commission. So for every opportunity that closes, you get a chunk of that. So you could easily bring home an additional $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year off of opportunities closing. So now you're getting your base salary and your commission, and you keep going, you can get bonuses. So it's a very, very lucrative position. And pre-sales is in every part of technology, not just cybersecurity, in technology, printers. Like if you bought a printer, there was probably a sales engineer that showed them how to use the printer, and then they were paid once the school bought it. So please take a look at pre-sales. Not a lot of people know about it, and I think it's the best career choice for a lot of people. They just haven't experienced it yet.
I have a question, sorry. So to get into the cybersecurity field, I know I currently work in IT. I've been in for like a year, but a lot of cybersecurity jobs, their requirements are like 3 years of experience or 4 years of experience. Do you suggest starting in, say, IT or a different computer field, or how would I even try to get a cybersecurity job with no experience or little experience?
That's a great question. And what's crazy is you don't know it, but you are getting a ton of cyber security experience in IT ops. Because that's where I came from. I came from IT ops. It is very difficult to learn how to secure something if you don't even know how it works. So, right. So fixing a laptop, a printer, a server, because you understand how it works, now you have the better ability to actually secure it. So what I will tell you to do is look at things that you're doing daily, right? Someone puts in a ticket because so-and-so is not working. Cool. All right. Figure out why it broke. Figure out, is there something you can do to automate fixing it or prevent it from breaking in the future? And then read up what could go wrong if I implemented this the wrong way. That's the cybersecurity part, right? Because if I make this setting change, it may not make the printer jam anymore, but it could open up a port where a bad guy could get inside. So think about what you're doing now, think about the automation, and then try to figure out what would happen if I didn't automate correctly. That's a good thing. Second thing is, don't be overwhelmed by the job descriptions. A lot of times the job descriptions weren't made by the hiring manager. They were made by human resources or talent acquisition. And a lot of times talent acquisition have no idea what they're talking about. No offense to anyone who's in human resources or anything like that, but they can just put things. I have saw things where you need experience, like 5 years experience in fill in the blank, and that product was only 1 year old. So how can I get 5 years experience in it, right? So don't be overwhelmed. Just look at what you're doing in IT. Try to find out things that you can automate, and again, see what happens if you automate that incorrectly, and then you'll start to get that experience. So,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Hey, Tony, is that your hand raised?
Yeah. One question, Karsten. When you were talking at the beginning about the clear web and the dark web and everything, you were mentioning that, well, to get to the dark web, you go to the like a Tor browser, try to get to that part. What you will recommend for students starting into the area, because Tor only make you anonymous, but you need more security on top of what you recommend to on top of Tor.
No, great question. So one, you're right. Tor, it just anonymizes your traffic and that. So it's harder for someone to be able to figure out that Karsten Chearis is using this type of MacBook in Memphis, Tennessee at this time, right? But their bad stuff could still happen. So I would recommend that, again, if you look at Microsoft and Amazon and these different companies that allow for you to create a virtual machine, that's really great experience for you to be able to do that. So you set up the virtual machine, you install Tor there, and now you're kind of anonymizing even more, but more so if something happens where you end up downloading something and it messes up your computer, no problem. Just blow away the virtual machine and you can start over. It's not actually impacting your host computer. The second thing I would tell you is, again, go to YouTube University and search for dark web tutorials. Don't try to download anything. Don't try to install anything. Just look around. Just read forums. Just kind of see what's out there. I would recommend you don't download anything until you become a lot more comfortable. But yeah, but there are plenty of YouTube channels and websites dedicated to, hey, here is a link you can view and understand more things about it. It's not just all stolen credit cards. There's also some cool things. NASA has a website on the dark web. You can actually read the Bible on the dark web, the Quran, all of that. So just kind of play around with it. Avoid downloads and do those things on a virtual machine.
Do you recommend, in addition, to have like a VPN?
So that's an interesting one. So the Tor browser in and of itself anonymizes your traffic. If you then get on a VPN, some of that anonymization goes away, because now the VPN hides certain things, but it reveals another. So if you actually look on the internet and search for, should I use a VPN on the Tor browser, most security professionals now will tell you not to do it, because it actually ends up revealing things when you're trying to be anonymized and be hidden. So I would say instead, just do it on a virtual machine. You don't have to worry about the VPN.
So one thing, could you please raise your hand if you are a MassBay student? Because I know a couple of you. I know Evan and Yulia. Are the others MassBay student?
Yes, Kelvin Matovu, the one that has K Matovu. I'm a student.
Very good. And
I'm also a student.
oh, good.
Yeah.
So I asked this because Karsten, we have actually mainly Tony And with help from some students and through our NSF grant, we have developed a cyber ranch, our own. So speaking of anonymizing and using VM, that would be something. But the reason I wanted to mention this, and I asked if the participants are students, was to let them know, because we have just started using the cyber ranch, our own cyber ranch, and we are going to include some exercises of those type in our courses. And we also have, through some other grant, access to CyberBit, Cyber Ranch. And so that is more, you know, it can handle a lot more users than our own, of course. So I wanted to encourage the students to ask us about this and be watchful for future lab work in their courses.
Yeah, if I could
Also,
add,
no,
I
go
have a
ahead.
go ahead.
question.
Go for it.
So I'm a student and I'm planning to do like cybersecurity as my major, but I'm wondering, how do I enter this field? Do I first study and finish the 2 years, or is it advisable I get an IT related job as I study and then maybe I have some experience when I get out?
That's a great question, and actually it rolls into what I was about to say. So, um, so you're going to be in school regardless, right? So you're 2, 3, 4 years, whatever that looks like, and you're going to be learning a lot of theory. Um, Theory makes more sense when you can get practical. So I would definitely encourage you, if you're able to see if you can get an IT job. Help desk is great, being an intern, because now you'll get a chance to actually see and touch what you're learning about. So you don't just get theory, but you get application. I would also say, while you're doing this, speaking of the cyber ranch and the labs, as you're doing your coursework, take it upon yourself to start to build a portfolio of what you've done, right? So I wanted to create a virtual machine that connects to this virtual machine that then connects there. Document that. Don't worry about it if it looks pretty or not. We can always change that later, but just document it. If you're on LinkedIn, write a blog post about it. Hey, I wanted to figure out how I could be able to surf the dark web, but also protect my home or school network. So I used a virtual machine, and these are the 5 things that I did. This is one mistake that I made, and this is what I'll do differently next time. So now you actually have evidence. You have something tangible. So when you're talking to a hiring manager, I'm like, hey, what experience do you have? You're like, cool, I got you. And now you can kind of share your portfolio. So definitely, to go back to the answer to your question, please try to pursue a IT related job while you're in school, if your coursework and your lifestyle allows it. And then just start to document, build your own portfolio, and now you're getting experience. So
That is a great point. I always tell students nowadays resume is old fashioned. Your profile and your web presence is what it counts. Portfolio is the way to go.
yes, 100%.
Question.
Mhm.
Do you know any certificates you could recommend, like cybersecurity related certificates? Like maybe I can do maybe in my free time or something like that.
Yeah, so the one that is very well known would be the CompTIA Security Plus. It's good a lot of times, and I don't know if MassBay does this, but a lot of times you can actually get free educational resources by being a student. One that is not well known because it's kind of new is with a company called ICS2, and they are the creator of this really big certification called CISP, Certified Information System Security Practitioner. I would not recommend you try to get that certification now because it is a beast and it actually requires for you to have 5 years experience doing the work. But they have a entry level one and it's called Certified in Cybersecurity. So they give you the coursework, you get videos, you get documentation, you get practice tests. And just by you doing that, then at the end, you're certified. That's actually what I'm looking at right now. Because I don't have any certifications. I have a lot of School of Hard Knocks experience, but I'm like, why not? It's free. So let me jump on it, right? And then that's a good entryway to other things. So out of all of them, I would recommend Certified in Cybersecurity by, I think it's ISC2. I think if you guys want to add me on LinkedIn and ask me that, I'll be glad to see the link. But
Yeah,
that is the one that I would
ASC
recommend.
square.
Yes, ISC squared. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's a really, really good one, and it's a good foundation. And then once you get one, it's going to be a lot easier to get to others because you already know this foundation. Now you just need to add a little bit more. So check out Security Plus and Certified in Cybersecurity.
One last question.
Mhm.
Have you heard about CS50 course?
Say again.
Have you heard about the Harvard CS50 course? It's like a free course on the Harvard website.
So I'm not getting the question. Have I seen the ISC before? I'm missing the first part.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I was saying, have you heard of the Harvard CS50? It's like a CS course on the Harvard website.
Oh, okay. Harvard. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, Harvard.
I don't know if that's a good one to take too, because I was also thinking about it.
So yeah, I mean, Harvard and schools like that, they in addition to being well known, they also offer a lot of free classes that their actual students are going through. So yeah, I mean, any learning you get is going to be good. I don't know anyone who is at a point where they say, you know what, I just know too much stuff. It's like saying, I just make too much money. You know, don't give me a promotion. Like, no, you can never have enough knowledge. So I think those courses are good. But the thing about those Harvard courses is going to be more about theory versus application. The certification, you're going to get the application and not a lot of the theory. So it's a good thing to balance them out, having both.
I just wanted to add that CS50 is a course for programming, more appropriate for programming students.
Yeah.
And that is what we do with our programs here. We offer 2 certificates and an associate degree in cybersecurity. And one of the courses, we are a Cisco Academy, thanks to Tony. But one of the courses required for cybersecurity degree is Fundamentals of Cybersecurity, which prepares the students for Security Plus examination.
Right. Yeah. The Harvard course, the CS stands for computer science. So I mean,
Yeah.
You can program in cybersecurity. I don't program, but I'm still in the field. So yeah.
There are so many venues under cybersecurity, so many different kind of jobs. Yes.
Agreed. Does anyone else have any questions? Go for it.
Well, I wanted to mention a few of the things that you said before. So first of all, is many of the IT, cybersecurity, computer network class, all the classes, they need to create virtual machines to do the work. So they are prepared for that. And like Shamsi mentioned, many of all the classes except computer science are somehow related to IT, cybersecurity, networking in general, and they all prepare for industry standard certification. In particular, when you were mentioning the CompTIA A+, well, we have the class that is Fundamentals of Cybersecurity that prepares prepare students for the for that certification. It's a Cisco course too. Like many of the courses are Cisco, and then the students they all have a lot of hands-on practice, and definitely because I some students I don't know I don't know them because probably they're new students, so eventually they're gonna go and take those classes, and they realize that yeah, you're basically preparing you for the CompTIA A+. Some of them prepare you, the Cisco courses prepare you for the CompTIA Networking Plus. Fundamentals of Cybersecurity prepares you for the Security Plus, and so forth. So all those prepare you so that you can actually go after that, take the certification exams.
That's good. I wish I had this when I was in school. I didn't, but that's great. All right, looks like there are no more questions.
I think we have this hour from 1 to 2 is a common hour on Mondays and Wednesdays at college, so students don't have any classes. So it's a good time for us to have these kind of meetings. But I assume students are getting ready to go to their next class at 2. But thank you so much for this, Karsten. It was very nice meeting you.
Likewise.
And everything you said is so true and so on the point. And it is, we hope that we can see you again at some point in future. We would like to have you here in person too. If you happen to visit Massachusetts, please let us know.
I will. I will. My job sends me up there sometimes as well, so I will try to keep in touch with Robin, and maybe we can I can meet you guys in person.
I would love
I
that.
love that.
Yeah.
Rapid 7 is working a lot with collaborating with the state here for threat intelligence, by the way. So yeah, they are very active. One of the active companies, yeah, supporter of cybersecurity initiatives in the state.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Karsten.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Y'all be
you.
safe. Take care.
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you, students.
Bye.
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 Robin, can you stay?
I'm gonna
for a
wait.
minute?
Yeah, I can stay for a minute. I'm just gonna I'm gonna stop recording.
Yeah.
Stop.